Yeah. Sorry about that. This is my first ever live stream, so ignore the setup period. Alright, here we are. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for supporting me on this channel for as long as I have been alive on this channel. Today, what are we doing? We are doing Tropical Island Entertainment Center. Now, this park is my best concept that I've made to date. And first, let me give you a bit of history. I had an idea. It wasn't a big idea, it was a small one. I thought, what would an indoor wooden roller coaster look like? That idea stuck in my head, and I just couldn't get rid of the idea. I really wanted to know if some park had built a wooden roller coaster indoors. So I took hold of this idea and eventually started building this concept in my head. I didn't have a name for it, but gradually I began to let the idea factory in my head get its gears grinding, and we started with something very small that got bigger and bigger and bigger until it became what you're seeing today. Tropical Island Entertainment Center. First of all, let me clear out. First of all, before I even start putting any building pieces down, let me clear all this garbage out of the way. So we go to the delete brush. Nature is selected. Special effects, don't need to. Lakes, probably yes. Any building pieces, not selected. So I can turn that height down to like 1 meter. The thing sounds like an engine. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Yeah, keep that 40 meters. Goodbye. Now you might be asking me, why are you laying waste to this poor map? Well, it's because I want to have as unrestricted of a build area as I can. So I have to basically get rid of almost everything before I can start building. Trust me, it'll be making sense later on. And whilst I am essentially, you can pretend I'm rage deleting stuff, but I'm not. So whilst I'm doing that, let me just make sure I've got everything. Let me tell you a bit more about this park. I have a Google document that I will link in the description of this live stream, and it details a lot of what you need to know about this park, including the design ID, all the different bits and pieces that are likely going to go in it. I think that's enough deleting. Let's do some terrain work. Let's do flatten. Now, again, I'm not destroying this map. I'm just leveling out areas that I think need leveling out before I can start building. And let me tell you, this is not going to be a single stream thing, like that's just like one stream and then the whole thing is fully built the next time you tune in. It's going to take a while, so I would really appreciate your support if you took the time to like the stream and subscribe to my channel. That would mean a lot to me, because every bit of support matters. Whether it's sharing my videos, commenting, liking, subscribing, whatever you do, every bit of support matters. In fact, I would like to give a shout out to some great YouTubers that I've seen do Planet Coaster 2 stuff. I would like to first give a shout out to Geekism for exposing the fact that you can do Western stuff with the existing themes, although that was before the that was before the actual Western theme came in. But look, I would like to also give a shout out to Rudy Rancamo, Gaming in its Prime, Coaster Loopings 360, JLW Games, Beyond Drew TV, and Channel 5 Gaming, as well as countless other members of the Planet Coaster 2 community, including but not limited to Silvaret and some others. You have shown us what this game is truly capable of. You have shown us that it's not rough around the edges all the time. Yeah, I mean, this game had a rocky start, but don't we all? Anyway, let's get back to building. This park is probably going to be my biggest project ever. And when I say that, I mean it. So, now, what are we doing here? We are laying down a wall. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, is this place outdoors? No, it is kind of like one of those family entertainment centers that are fully indoors. And in fact, my original design for this place had a water slide that went outdoors and came back in. But I think that now I am going to choose a slightly different approach and keep everything indoors as much as I can. So this is going to take a while, so sit tight. Oops, I did not mean to do that. I think this game has an amazing soundtrack. Wouldn't you? I mean, You, Me, and Fluidity? Props to J.J. Ibsen for this soundtrack. I mean, of course, You, Me, and Gravity was amazing. I love Jim Guthrie's work on You, Me, and Gravity. But this soundtrack just feels so refreshed and so new, and it actually feels more tropical than the other soundtrack. So, I mean, and that's a good thing. So, here we are, slowly working our way. Oops, and did I misalign that? No, I didn't. I'm trying to get as much stuff as perfect as I can with the resources that I've got. Now, if you may have noticed, this whole thing is unscripted. So there may be pauses where I'm not speaking, but just ignore those. You can skip them if you want. Now, I am proud of the fact that I like being creative. In fact, like, this game is one of my major creative outlets. I just still can't get over this soundtrack being so amazing. Now you might ask, just how big is this place going to be? Well, let me tell you, if you can imagine something like the American Dream Mall, but instead of only a small part of the mall being roller coasters and water park, imagine the whole mall being nothing but a giant theme park. That's what this place is. There's no shopping centers, well, except the souvenir shops and dining and stuff. But apart from that, this place is going to be absolutely massive. Let me show you. I have to admit, like, at first, I was quite nervous doing this. But then I thought to myself, if I'm gonna do this, I might as well do it good with what I have. So, apologies for my noob appearance. I still feel that I'm going to get better each time I do something like this. But what I'm hoping, is that I can do. I'm hoping that I can complete a large chunk of this wall today, and then maybe next time I do a stream, I'll be finished the wall. But I don't think I should have done that. Let me just. Wait, actually. Wait, what if I do that? There we go. Oops. Now, once this whole project is done, I'm going to be uploading it both to the Frontier Workshop, and I'm going to put it in as franchise mode. So that way, if you want to drop in and manage this park, by all means, go ahead. Oops. And I can't wait to see this thing come to life. And I would really like it if you were all coming along for the ride with me. Now, let me tell you, building something like this, especially live on camera, is not easy. But we're gonna plan and power through it. So again, we're gonna do one of those. Oops. We're gonna do one of those. One of those. Now, oops. Z again. Now, I think what I do. Oops. I did not realize that all of this was let's just hit Z, shift that into place. Now, after each stream, I'm gonna post a boiled down version to kind of so that you can see the stream without all the long pauses. So yeah, like, oops, come on. Now, one thing that was kind of like a big draw for me with this game was the ability to scale objects. Now, initially, I was just building roller coasters because that's what I'm all about. I mean, I'm CoasterSaga. But now that I'm starting to get into building not just roller coasters, but actual, like, buildings, scaling, and all the rotation stuff, as you can see here, is a big draw for me. Because without scenery, there's really only so much you can do with a bare bones coaster track. But once you add scenery and stuff, that's when your coaster can really start to pop and be like its own character. So it's the same with a theme park. There's only so much you can do with just a funfair style place where you just plop down rides loosey-goosey willy-nilly. But once you start adding theming, your place will really start to pop. And so far, I am trying my hardest to make this place work. We are not even a quarter of the way across the map, and I'm still just clicking and placing. It's funny, like, once you zoom out, you realize just how big the building space actually is. So, I'm just gonna do another Z like that again. Oops, come on. Stop it. Down. There we go. There we go. And now, I have to admit, this park, when it started as an idea in my head, I imagined a pretty big place what I didn't know was just how big it was actually going to be and how detailed it would end up turning out in my head, of course. But now that I'm actually building it, I'm starting to realize that there's more to it than just writing a Google Doc and putting words on a screen. So, I mean, as you can see here, it's been how many minutes now? And I'm still placing wall pieces. Stop it. Come on. When you go fast, the controls start to become finicky. So any first-time builders, like me, the biggest advice I would give you is slow down, breathe, and don't place your pieces too fast. One thing I like about doing things like this is the freedom angle snap and snap distance and things like that give you. Because without them, the builds that I do would be really sloppy even if I slowed down and took things step by step. Now, I do not know where this place would be in real life. I know it might not be in Australia because Australia is an outdoor culture and they have lots of outdoor water parks. But I haven't heard of any like family entertainment centers in Australia. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a pause on building. Oops. Do that. Stop it. I'm trying to carefully cut off this cliff. What if I do chisel instead? Oh, that doesn't work. It's because I have my thing set so high. Let's take instead size down to 16. Oh yeah, that's working. Chisel away, baby. There we go. Okay. Now that I've done that, I'm gonna hit Control D so that I can resume building where I left off without having to have a bunch of mismatched parts that don't hook up with the same building. Now, in fact, that was one of the troubles I had when building this park for the first time. There were a number of failed attempts, which I deleted all of those because I didn't like I didn't think it would be adequate for me to show my failures. Although, I mean, I know people like watching train wrecks and bloopers, so I'm probably going to make a blooper reel from the entire series when I finish doing everything. Um, I think that this park, if it were real, I think the closest thing to it is likely the American Dream Mall. Because although that is half shopping center, half theme park, I still think that it's a good example of the kind of engineering that can put a theme park into a full-sized shopping center and bring them together. In fact, I'm not sure even how big the build space is right now, but I heard a lot of people saying that it was, oops, saying that it was probably like a kilometer by a kilometer, if I remember correctly. Although, I mean, if, like, you know what, let's actually, I believe the song is Clever Endeavor. So, I mean, someone please correct me if I'm wrong, but I have to admit, I know all of the Yumi and Gravity songs off the top of my head. In fact, I can list them right now. The Light in Us All, Theories of an Eager Heart, Breakfast of Champignons, With Friendship and Peace, Small Hands Make Big Things, Dream, Build, Repeat, Aspect Imaginarium, Clever Candle, Steal the Light, Sync Cat, You'll Know When It Turns Invisible, Theme Parks After Dark, Things to Consider During Freefall, Pride of Pimlico, Heisenberg's Entryway to Matrix Mechanics, and last but not least, And So We See the Truth and the Beauty. Oops. I can list all of those off the top of my head, but with the You, Me, and Fluidity soundtrack, I can't. Alright, let's go for some advanced move action, shall we? Okay, let's go out. Control X. Make sure snap distance is on. Hit world, because I want to see where I'm going. Come on. I think that's a bug where it doesn't want to. Okay, so advanced move duplicate. I'll fix those doors later. Control X. I'm aiming for a build height of 60 meters or 200 feet, which is really easy to do with these 4-meter pieces that I'm using. I just have to do 15 of them stacked vertically. Now I will count them later. Okay, let's see how many I got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Wow! I wasn't even trying! And I got 60 meters! Now, I'm going to edit each building. This. I'm going to delete each of these door pieces because I've made 2 doors. One is like an entrance. I probably should have made a lot more. But, I mean, I think like if one of these is an exit and one of them is an entrance, then it would probably make more sense. Careful not to delete the bottom ones because I need those. Although, yeah, so I think it's best if I go from the side. Or actually, or what if I go from the... well, yeah, if I do Control X. Although that's kind of silly because I can't... One to go. Come on. There we go. Finished. Now, if we just go back out and get that out of the way. See how big that is? I think I've given myself tons of room to work with. Let me just do a bit of terrain manipulation here because I have to okay. Yeah, I think this park is going to be pretty cool when I actually get it finished. Bye-bye, rock. Let's get the chisel tool back out because I need to work some terrain here. Now, there we go. We just need to keep that chiseled. I think if I keep chiseling it down, yeah, it's fine the way it is though. Okay, let me just check to make sure there's no other terrain bits that I need to edit. That was a weird screen tear or something. Okay, that's perfect. Now, later on, I will add windows to this once I'm finished doing everything. And I have the roof off because otherwise, how am I going to see? Now, one thing I like about this game, I think I'm going to use it to my advantage, is if I'm designing a dark ride, I can put two wall pieces right up next to each other, and it basically creates a dark room. So I can use that to my advantage when building. Okay. So let's head out the door. I think this is a nice looking archway for both. It's like the building is so huge, those archways look like pinholes from a distance. I also like how the guests spawn from buses instead of walking into the park, because it almost makes it look like they're here on a field trip. You can think about it that way. So I'm going to. I didn't align the doors properly, but whatever. So I'm going to use. I'm gonna use some scenery pieces to decorate this area soon. In fact, maybe I should do that right now. So if we go props, centerpieces, and because this is like a tropical pirate tiki swashbuckler kind of theme, like a Caribbean getaway or tiki swashbuckler pirate kind of theme, I'm using these guys. So let's do that. Face this way. And poop! I love scaling! I might turn that into like a lantern or something to provide illumination at night. In fact, let me get like a bowl or something. No, not a dragon lamp. What I'm thinking. Oh, yes, 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 yes. So I'm going to do props, all, and row boat. Okay, there we go. Now, if we stick it in the middle, it doesn't make a good prop because it blocks the way. So what we have to do is we do like this, and if we I'm gonna say rotate, angle snap 45 degrees, and I'm just gonna turn this way. Now, I probably could have had these face away from each other, but if I hit my multi-select, hit this, hit Control X, and then I move it over here, I can do that. In fact, nah, I'm gonna raise, I'm gonna put these two to the side. Let me just connect that like that and hit I for multi-select. Did I select it? Yes, it did. Control X, or just X, because I need to move this out of the way. I'm gonna move that down and like that. I will put those back, but I've just had an idea. Now you might be thinking, why is he putting in a roller coaster already? He hasn't even built the park. I'm not. I'm putting in I'm putting in like a I'm putting in almost like a, not quite facade, but but um I'm putting in a let's get that to be exactly 45 degrees. Come on, come on, come on. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Oh, so close. It's hovering around 45 to 45.08. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, what's the whole point of this? Well, I'm adding in a little piece that will go across the top of those two tikis. Aha! See? Um, oh, wait, let me just turn off track supports. Now, there we go. Done. Now, we can hit my multi-select and put these back where they belong. So let's put them here. I kind of did this like, almost like rafter boards or something. So that's kind of what it is. Or kind of like, those in those parks, they have like the wooden, what do you call them? The You have like the wooden beams that go across and connected to pillars. This is kind of what this is. Um, that's why I was fiddling with the coaster track just there. And in fact, I'm going to put an anchor. Look, I'm going to put an anchor. Let's hit X and bring it up, and that way I can do this and shift it like this. Now, I originally had plans to make a flag for this park, but then after seeing that you can't do flags in this game the way I thought you could, I didn't. I just gave up on that idea. Uh, and so um, and so I kind of abandoned any thought of doing like a flag for the park. But I'm sure if I was able to find a way to do it, I would certainly do it. Because, I mean, sometimes I never give up, but sometimes things are just too complex where I have to give up. In fact, ooh, that looks pretty good. I just need to add some lights to the top and we should be good. So let's turn that off and add some lights. Back out. This is not inside the tiki, it's just I'm gonna put this. So I'm putting 2 of these on the pirate boats, and then I'm going to connect them. I'm not sure what colors I'm going to use, probably ocean colors, blues or something. Night only. Okay, let's keep the lights that color. In fact, let's switch it to night, and boom. Night only. Night only. Come on, why aren't they lighting up? Oh, wait, what if I... There we go. That's what I was hoping for. I love the look of that. So let's Ooh, 6 o'clock makes a good time change there. Yeah, so 8 o'clock seems to be the threshold when they all turn off. Now I think I know what I'm gonna do. I'm looking for like a gem piece or something that I can... Nothing. Um, 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 what if I hit X on that? Because I like the look of this. I don't know if I'm gonna put a light in it because I already have lights pointing at the building, or if I'm just gonna keep it in the middle like that. Just if I... Okay, if I do if I look at lights again. Although what I wanted was to maybe uh, uh, let's bring this up into here. Um, oh great, I just deleted it. But what I'm hoping is I'm going to go back to all for everything and look for the clamshell statue. Spin it around and raise it up on top of the track. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a light in it, almost like an illuminated oyster pearl or something. So lights. I'm going to go for the modern spotlight. Ooh, large brazier lamp. Nice. Ooh, fire. I like fire. Let's put this up top. Ooh, that looks awesome. Wouldn't you say? That looks amazing. You can see it in daylight too. In fact, let's set the time to night, or even 6 o'clock. And these aquatic lights kind of wash out those aquatic lights kind of wash out the flame. Let's remove them, and I'll go back to 8 a.m. and add proper floodlights. So I'm gonna add it kind of inside the tiki, kind of centered, and bring it up push it back a bit. Add 1, 2, 3, and 4. View from the top. That's the song. That's not my current camera position. So let's go. Oops. Ooh, that looks really, really good. I have to say, I haven't even started the inside of this place, and I'm already satisfied with the outdoor lighting, which I have to say looks pretty darn impressive. Let's go back to 8. You can kind of still see the light there. So let's go out and okay. So I'm going to great. I'm not curved, straight curve. So let's go to the pathing tool in this game is so much better than in the first game. So let's go back to paths. Now, the only thing I don't like is this kind of like is this kind of restriction going into the fork. I wish that, I mean, I'm gonna leave those paths for now. So that's my park down there in the bottom left. So I'm gonna leave those paths for now, and instead, let's talk about some boring stuff. Although, it depends. Everything can be either boring or fun. Which do you choose? So, that concludes today's stream. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next stream. Until then, bye for now.